Hello viewers, welcome to Science TV. Prime News, I am your host Edno Kaindi, and sign language diplomat with the voicing is Gideon Minor. Welcome to our 1 p.m. news. Business premises associated with Kiambu Governor Kimani Wamatangi along Douglas Wakihuri Road behind Nyayo Stadium in Nairobi were demolished overnight in an operation carried out under heavy security. Bulldozers moved in during the early hours as police officers sealed off the area. Demolition occurred despite an existing court order barring any interference with the property pending the determination of a legal challenge. Court filings indicate the governor had sought protection, citing lawful occupation and lack of due processes ahead of the planned eviction. At the second day of investigation after a family in Bale, Vihiga County was plunged into grief following the discovery of a man who had gone missing on Christmas Eve. The case has shocked residents and raised concerns within the local community. The deceased has been identified as 43-year-old Humphrey Balaga. His mother, Jane Kasingane, said her son disappeared shortly after visiting home, and repeated efforts by the family to trace his whereabouts yielded no information until the grim discovery was made.
Tarehe 27 tulienda tukaripoti kwa polisi, wakasema hawajamuona. Tukarudi mahali analala, tukaangalia hapo hakuonekana. Hata kofia alikuwa nayo hiyo tarehe 24 iko mahali analala. Nisaidia, hii maneno ni maneno mzito, kwa sababu hii maneno imefanyika kama hatuna mbele na nyuma. Hata nilikuwa nalia, lakini nikaambia Mungu, nifunge kamba, nisilie. Sijui ni nini imetokea kufanyika hivyo. Kama ni yenyewe imejilete ni sawa, na kama ni mwanadamu ameenda juu chini anataka kumaliza mji yangu, nimemwachia Mungu.
President William Ruto has criticized opposition leaders, accusing them of lacking a clear agenda to empower young people and address unemployment. Speaking in Samburu County during the launch of the Nyota program, the president said his administration was focused on delivering practical solutions to youth economic challenges. Ruto warned young people against being used for political purposes, urging them to make independent decisions based on development outcomes rather than political rhetorics. He said the Nyota program was designed to equip the youth with skills funding, and opportunities to improve their livelihoods.
Kama hamuna kitu ya kupanga ya hawa vijana, wachaneni na vitisho, wachaneni na uchochezi. Hawa vijana, they want a future. Wanataka kujua ajira itapatikana wapi. Wanataka kujua masomo wataendelea namna gani. Wanataka kujua biashara watafanya namna gani. Wanasiasa na viongozi ni maneno tu ya kupiga kura, maneno ya kupiga kura, lakini kupiga kura ni siku moja. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Lakini maisha ni kila siku. Biashara ni kila siku.
Ile bottom up rais alisema wakati alituongoza katika kampeni ndio hii. Mtu ambaye hana hata shilingi moja ya kufanya biashara anapatiwa 50,000 startup capital ya kuanza biashara.
Kila mmoja alikuwa anakuja training na anapewa fare. Si ndio hivyo? Na wale ambao walikuwa na watoto wachanga tulikuwa tumewatengea mahali daycare na tumewatafutilia watu wa kuwalindia watoto. Si ni ukweli?
Wewe mwenyewe uliona kwamba we cannot improve the economy of the country entirely if we exclude the ability and the empowerment of the young people.
The Law Society of Kenya has moved to court seeking the nullification of temporal orders barring public institutions from being represented by private advocates. The society urges that the directive unfairly restrict legal representation and undermine established legal practices. Speaking to the media in Nairobi on Tuesday, LSK president said the orders were unconstitutional, discriminatory, and pose a serious threat to access to justice. He maintained that public bodies should retain the discretion to engage private lawyers where necessary, particularly in complex or specialized cases. LSK warned that if left in place, the orders could weaken the legal profession and limit the ability of state agencies to receive effective legal representation. The society has urged the court to lift the restriction, citing broader implication for constitutional right and the administration of justice.
The petition and ex parte orders granted by the High Court sitting at Nakuru petition E001 of 2026, are a culmination of a protracted cyclic attempt to cut off private practitioners from the public sector economic ecosystem.
We have since filed an application seeking to review and set aside the ex parte conservatory orders issued by the Honorable Mr. Justice Mohochi Mukira, and are hopeful that this regrettable omission in law will be rectified swiftly.
World over, we have seen professionals working hand in hand with the government and government agencies, particularly because of their arena of expertise and capacity. And therefore, to single out the entire legal profession of the entire country is not only absurd, illegal, and unconstitutional.
Why discriminate on one profession, on one body of profession? That is the question that we are asking. It is completely preposterous.
The government has intensified efforts to curb drug abuse in school, with national government administrative officers now involved in the screening of grade 10 students as they report back to school. The move signals a tougher stance on narcotics among learners. Parents have welcomed the move, describing it as timely and necessary. They say increased oversight will help protect students from exposure to drugs and reinforce discipline as school resumes normal learning activities.
These drugs and illicit brews causes a lot of unrest in schools. There's also a lot of violence. We have students' performance really going downhill. They're not able to perform well. And there's also a lot of violence. We find that students are engaging in they're fighting against themselves. And this is because they are not in their right mental status. We often also visit schools. We also give talks. And whenever there are any cases, we also ask them to report so that we follow up and also advise, we advise the administration to get counseling.
Occasionally you will find a case here and there, but very, very minimal. We have tried to do our best to control the accessibility and use. And we have so many mentorship programs throughout the year, particularly on matters of drugs and substance abuse.
We are frisking our learners every morning when they are coming to school. We also create awareness, like on Wednesday after classes we have career talks where we also mention about the drugs and its effects to the learners, but also sometimes inviting other schools to our school field, which is the biggest school field around, and we talk about the issue of drugs.
We want to make sure that all the agencies work together in ensuring that we eliminate all forms of drugs in not only our learning institutions, but also in our areas, more so in the sub-region.
We need to be careful because at this stage is when the children and they quite indulge in these things.
Ikiwa wewe unatumia mihadarati itakuwa ni kusababisha wewe kutokuwa na nidhamu na pia kutoheshimu walimu wako pamoja na wanafunzi. Kwa hiyo tujiepushe na mihadarati ili tuweze kuwa na maisha mazuri na tuweze kuwa na msimamo ambao kwamba unaeleweka.
The government has confirmed that 3 million bags of subsidized fertilizers are ready in storage and ready for collection by small-scale farmers ahead of the onset of the rainy season. The move is aimed at ensuring timely access to farm inputs to boost food production. Agriculture Principal Secretary Dr. Paul Rono said the fertilizers packed in 50 kilogram bags will be sold at 2,500 per bag. He noted that the program is part of the government's broader efforts to reduce production costs for farmers and improves the harvest.
Na kama serikali kuu tumejipanga kwa wizara wa kilimo kuhakikisha kwamba wakulima wamepata mbolea wakati inavyotakikana. So hii mbolea yenye tumeanza kusambaza itafika karibu milioni 12.5 kwa sababu mwaka iliyopita tulisambaza mbolea milioni 10.
We then upgraded our systems, and that system upgrade is not only improving the the security, because mobile money, of course, you can understand these needs to really embrace cybersecurity.
This transaction facilitates the mobilization of significant resources without contracting debts or raising taxes. Honorable members, you'll realize and agree with me that Kenyans have spoken, and the Kenyans spoke in 2024 when they objected to any additional taxes being raised.
This is all we had prepared for you viewers here at Science TV from our newsroom. I have been your host Edna Kaindi, and sign language interpreting the voicing is Gideon Minor. Have a good afternoon and enjoy the rest of the program. Bye-bye.